told you I'd kill you.
I know as well what you said. Do it.
If you want death, find some reins and a tree with a strong limb.
Wouldn't work. Couldn't do it. Always been a coward. Do it. Please.
Hello and welcome to another Witcher lore video, this time about werewolves. First, I'll talk about their lore and then I'll tell the stories of each significant werewolf individually. So without further ado, let's begin. Werewolf is a human or humanoid who can change into the form of a man-wolf crossbreed, which is much stronger than both. In Witcher universe, there are 3 ways to become a werewolf. First one is through a curse. Unlike TV shows that depict being a werewolf as a cool thing, in the world of The Witcher, it is usually a punishment and curse, resulting in suffering of the cursed man in most cases. But why? How can becoming such a strong being be a curse? Well, those who become werewolves through a curse don't have a control on it. They will transform on the full moon, and that's it. They can't change whenever they want or need, which basically renders their ability useless. They have to sneak out on full moons and go to wilderness, away from their cities or villages, in order not to hurt their family or the people they love. And if they forget, well, then they will wake up to a tragedy, the pain of which they usually can't bear. There are of course many cursed werewolves throughout Witcher, but I'm gonna talk about 2 of them, both of whom are of course cursed, but the similarities end there, as their curses are ultimately different. First, let's talk about the quest Wild at Heart. This quest is about a cursed werewolf called Nillen, in the village of Blackba. His wife went missing and, desperate to find her, he posts a contract and Geralt picks it up. So Geralt naturally starts looking and asking people around. The couple had a good relationship and Nillen himself was a respected villager. But the story of Hannah's disappearance had a tragic end. It turned out that she had been killed by her own husband. He did not do this on purpose, however, afflicted with the curse of lycanthropy, he would hide in the forests during his transformation, in order to protect his friends and loved ones. Hannah's sister Margaret knew this secret, and had one of her own. She was in love with Nillen, and fiercely jealous of Hannah's life with him, she decided to take Hannah into the woods to watch her husband's transformation, hoping she would then abandon him in disgust. Sadly, Hannah was careless enough to draw werewolves' attention. Margaret was able to escape, but her sister was not so lucky. Nillen transformed into the bloodthirsty beast, slaughtered the love of his life with his own hands. Finally, he asks Geralt to kill him, knowing what he had done. He couldn't bear it anymore. Whether Geralt ends Nillen's suffering by killing him or lets him live with the burden of his actions depends on you. So in this story we see how it is a curse and what grave consequences it can have. But it is nothing compared to the next story. Yes, there is no pain worse than knowing you have killed your loved ones, but a werewolf, if he is careful, can avoid it and just disappear on the full moon. But the next curse has no way of avoiding. You Witcher fans know whom I'm talking about. It's none other than Morkvarg. Morkvarg was a feared and ruthless pirate who terrorized the seas around Esquiliga. His reputation for cruelty was unmatched, and he and his crew left a trail of destruction wherever they went. Morkvarg was said to fear nothing except the wrath of gods. In order to dispel that rumor as well, Morkvarg decided to desecrate Freya's garden, a sacred place dedicated to the goddess Freya. There, they rounded up priestesses and bound them, but the archpriestess Ulf stood in Morkvarg's way. He cut her down together with the other clergywoman, but with her dying breath she uttered a curse upon him. It turns out it was not the priestess who cursed Morkvarg, but was Einar, one of Morkvarg's crew members. Disgusted with the atrocities Morkvarg committed against the gods by defying the garden, Einar transformed Morkvarg into a werewolf using cursed wolf pendant given to him by his father. He was transformed into a werewolf. The curse not only bound him to the garden for eternity, it also gave him an immense hunger that no food or prey could ever satisfy, as it immediately turns to ash. Even trying to consume his own flesh would cause him incredible pain. If he is killed, he invariably is resurrected and returns to the garden, where the cycle begins anew. Geralt of Rivia encounters Morkvarg during the quest in Wolf's Clothing. Geralt learns about Morkvarg's curse and is given the task of either lifting the curse or killing him permanently. The quest offers multiple outcomes depending on the player's choices. Now let's talk about the second way you can be a werewolf, and that's having a werewolf parent. This way has all of the benefits of being a werewolf without downsides. Those who are born a werewolf can change whenever they want and seem to have more control on themselves. This way, they don't pose a danger to their loved ones, and whenever they or their family is in danger, they can change into a werewolf and save their families. This way, it's actually useful because cursed werewolves only can change in full moons. If their loved ones are in danger, they can't really do anything. They would be as helpless as a normal man. The control over changing presents many opportunities. The werewolf can use it for good or bad. In Witcher 1, for example, Vincent Mace was the head of city's guard in Vizima. He was a werewolf and used this ability to fight crime. The third way to become a werewolf is by being bitten by another werewolf. This, however, rarely happens and there is no guarantee to turn into a werewolf. In most of the cases, the victim would be left only with a wound and nothing else. Werewolves emerge after the conjunction of spheres. Or to be more precise, therianthropy diseases, including lycanthropy, appeared in the world after the conjunction of spheres, affecting non-humans and early human populations alike. So, this makes a lot of things clear. First, werewolves didn't jump on Earth, appearing like a lot of other monsters as a whole being did, but rather the ability to become werewolf came to existence. Think of it as a virus that comes and afflicts people. How the first man become a werewolf is unclear, but I have a theory. There are 3 methods to turn into a werewolf, but the first one couldn't be through a bite, as there should already be a werewolf to bite you. You also cannot be born a werewolf, as again there should already be a werewolf to be your parent. So I think the first werewolf must have been cursed. As I said, lycanthropy appeared after the conjunction of spheres, and then someone, aware of this, probably cursed someone to be a werewolf. Like the virus is there, and you inject it to somebody. Now, let's talk about their characteristics and attributes. But before we do that, if you have enjoyed watching this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button, as it greatly helps our channel to grow. Werewolves possess extraordinary physical abilities. They are incredibly strong, capable of tearing through armor and crushing bones with ease. Their speed and agility makes them formidable hunters, able to outrun and outmaneuver most prey. Werewolves also have heightened senses, particularly their sense of smell, which allows them to track their prey over great distances. Yet their most important attribute, in my opinion, is their regenerative abilities, healing wounds that would be fatal to ordinary human. However, their one true weakness is silver. Weapons forged from silver can pierce their hide and prevent their rapid healing. The transformation into a werewolf is not just a physical change, but a psychological one as well. During the full moon, the afflicted loses all senses of humanity, driven by a primal urge to hunt and kill. However, some werewolves retain memories of their actions during their transformation, leading to immense guilt and sorrow. This duality often drives them to isolation, as they fear harming those they love. And now for the last part, let's read the journal entry.
Werewolves aren't as bad as they're made out to be. Werewolves, though they're every bit as bad and worse. Elsa Vilge, Archer. Werewolves are creatures with both men and wolves inside them. When in beastly form, they take the worst traits of each: the wolf's drive to kill and hunger for raw flesh, and the man's cruel and calculating intelligence. A werewolf's condition comes about through a curse, and the transformations happen outside his conscious control. When he reverts to human form, He has no memory of his deeds, otherwise he would surely go mad and take his own life. Werewolves are active at night, particularly when the moon is full. Though they hunt alone, when threatened they will summon wolves to aid them. Werewolves rarely feel the need to flee, for few adversaries put up much of a fight against them. They strike as swiftly as lightning with claws sharp as razors and regenerate any damage received in mere moments. When fighting werewolves, a witcher should wield a blade covered in oil harmful to the cursed and have a large supply of devil's puffballs handy. A werewolf's curse can at times be lifted, yet there is no universal, surefire method for doing this. A witcher seeking to undertake such a task must there equip himself with a great deal of patience and sturdy armor.